He says we're live. Hey, everybody, we're live. Welcome to the live show. Is everybody hearing me? I can't really hear myself in my headphones. Krista, can you turn up number one slightly? Maybe by like 5% or something. Oh, God. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Stop. Maybe a little more. Hold on, everybody. The show will start. Now, Scott, obviously, you're on the show. But
apparently,
I'm not introducing you, so you're not really here until we get at least 5 people, because people like to trickle in, and I honestly don't know how people find this stuff, because every time I click on the link, it misleads me, and YouTube's been a headache since day one. So I always like to wait till people are trickling in, sort of settling in. Like this is the part of the movie that's just the trailer. So this is like the CBS special.
Right.
So, we're just kind of shooting the shit. Waiting. We're getting up 4 people. It's been a minute. We got 4 people. People are getting the message. They're filing in faster.
Yep.
So in the typing square, please.
Is everybody in?
Sound off.
The show's about to begin.
I need Kayla in the mod. I'm breaking up. You're breaking up. That's what I was worried about. Now I'm going to be paranoid. Show.
Well, it's still going. It says excellent connection on my screen.
Pull it up on your phone and listen to it, Krista, just for giggles, just for me.
Engineer Krista.
Yeah, not the sound spray. Check. Hold on. Holding.
Dead air.
Help me out here, Scott. I need you to fill in the silence with your melodious. Tell
Welcome,
us
one
a
and
story.
all, to Fistful of Podcasts, Dave.
Here's what I got for you. In the meantime,
right.
give me a story. It could be recent, it could be an old story. I don't care. Just give me a story that's roughly 3 to 5 minutes.
Wow, no pressure whatsoever.
Maybe something something interesting that's happened. Something maybe you were like, I'm gonna maybe something happened interesting at lunch, and there was like a note in your hamburger, and it was from a secret admirer, and they had folded.
No, I've stopped accepting notes from my hamburgers ever since that time with the fortune cookie. It just doesn't happen anymore.
I think it's taking the microphone from something else.
Is it taking? It's probably. Okay, but I don't know how to change that on the fly. That's my problem.
Yeah, it is.
Well, if they can hear, because Kayla just heard fortune cookies, so it can't be from anywhere else but the place it's supposed to be from.
Okay.
But is it bad?
Oh, am I cutting out?
No, Scott's not.
Okay.
Our connection to YouTube is seemingly bad.
I see.
I don't know.
Kayla, weigh in here. I know you're there since I saw you in the typing square.
Remind me.
Yes.
Are we still cursing on the show?
Yeah, we're still pretty cash, dude.
Okay, cool. Just checking.
Can't you tell by my invisible man costume?
I told you, no more dad jokes.
Kayla, you are officially a moderator right now for
providing, of course, her connection is fine.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I think everything's fine. Maybe we just had a rough start.
Well, if you listen to this later and you're like, "Fuck," I don't want to hear anything.
Then I'll be very angry.
Very angry indeed.
Look at that. She's got a little
it's so
wrench.
Cute. Yeah. You're blue and you have a wrench.
Yeah. So wrench, sure, I guess, because you're a mod and you can tinker with things. But can't there be a cooler icon? Scott, help me out. You're an artist. Let's say.
Yeah. Let me just craft something out for you.
I mean, just like pull something out of your head. Like if you think of a moderator for something, I don't know if I would jump to wrench. If you say plumber or carpenter, I jump immediately to tools.
Yeah, it's
mods. I don't get.
Somehow Mario Brothers doesn't cover it.
Yeah, so for a moderator, maybe it's like a baton.
A baton.
You know, somebody like somebody who can. A moderator is someone who takes charge and gets shit done. They
right.
TCB.
Well, all right. Okay. Well, like a gavel and a set of headphones. I don't fucking know.
Maybe since we're going TCB, we're gonna do like a Elvis Pompadour.
There you go. It's an Elvis Pompadour with a pair of headphones and a gavel.
Somebody get on that. Google.
Well, that I can draw. I'm not going to draw while we're on though, because you'll just hear me scribbling.
Well, I need it to be an icon for our.
This I can do.
Kayla says, if I were to pick a symbol for a mod, I'd go with something relating to Huggy Bear, aka the Mod Squad.
So Mod Squad, what did you think of the remake?
Never saw it.
No, I'm thinking of the A-Team. Sorry.
Never saw it.
A-Team was,
I hear the Man from U.N.C.L.E. one is good though.
They're varying. That's the problem with all these reboots, is there are so many, and the good ones, if they are good, just sort of get lost in the shuffle because they break away from the source material, so the fans sort of give it a no-go.
Right.
So I don't know. We're still getting reports of breaking video and audio. So
it's going smooth on here.
I think it's a single connection that's the problem, not the supplier. Anywho.
Wow. Are we still talking about YouTube, or did we move on to the drug trade, or what's going on here?
Smuggling.
Yeah.
So just to let you know, Scott, coming up on the show, when we do start, and we have at least 5 people, the FFOP 5 is a series of questions that I've come up with to psychologically analyze my victims and or guests.
Wow.
And thus, the importance is, now after it being administered to you, it will either this will basically dictate our interactions for the rest of our lives.
Wow.
So I don't want to.
So this is a personality test. This is like Myers-Briggs shit, or what?
I don't want to stress you out, but
no
very
pressure.
Important.
No pressure.
I'm good.
We had 5 for like a second. And then
it might be the most
4.
important thing you've ever done.
Ever. You have no idea.
Yeah, Kayla the mod. Okay.
Kayla the mod.
But I still haven't seen. When my eyes land on 5, that's when we go. So Scott, give me your favorite underrated horror movie. Not like, let's stay away from like the huge classics, like something, vintage, maybe from the Hammer series. Like, what's something that you like that you don't think gets enough play that should?
Well, that's a pretty wide.
Well, you gotta have like a favorite cult movie. Let's narrow it down to like let's say Hammer.
When it comes to Hammer, my favorite that is of the lesser known Hammer films is Captain Kronos Vampire Hunter. Have you seen it?
No.
Okay, it's amazeballs. All right. So essentially, are you familiar with Vampire Hunter D?
Yes.
Very. I have a very passing familiarity
it's like
with it.
Right. It's like pre-D. Okay. So the concept is pretty similar. You have a dude riding around on horseback with a right-hand man, and essentially they're vampire slayers. And it is inferred that somehow he's maybe part vampire after having been bitten and survived. Okay. Survived a vampire attack, and he roams around with a rapier and a katana.
He's one of these characters.
Yeah, and he's just a total badass. And then his right hand man is a hunchback with impeccable manners. Yeah, but impeccable manners. Like, it plays against type. Like, he's just a really nice guy. He just happens to have a hunch. And they use all these different techniques to detect vampires in areas, especially if they've been called in. And the other interesting thing about the film is that there's no one set of rules for vampires.
Right.
It treats them as if there's multiple species of vampires.
That's
which
interesting.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool from that standpoint. And So when they get there, part of a whole chunk of the movie is them trying to find out who the vampires are, what types of vampire they might be, and therefore how to defeat them. Because at one point, one of the characters gets bitten and he becomes a vampire, and they spend an entire hilarious but very dark sequence where they're trying to kill him, and nothing will kill him because they don't know what type of vampire he is. So. And then on top of it, and it's just again, it plays against type, but it has this really cool spaghetti western vibe to it, where he's, like I said, Kronos is just a badass. He goes into a bar, people fuck with him, and he just cuts them down and goes back to his drink.
That name Kronos feels so sci-fi. It feels like there's sort of a disconnect when you say Kronos Vampire Hunter. When you hear Kronos, I think of the god,
right, exactly,
like Chrono Trigger or some far off Japanese.
And they were implying that they were making an implication that he might be. They wanted it to be a series, and unfortunately, it came in at the tail end of the Hammer cycle, so it didn't do well because people were already kind of turning their nose up at Hammer films. So it didn't pull in the money that it needed to justify a sequel.
Yeah.
However, that being said, they were implying throughout the course of the movie that we were going to learn more about this character as the film series goes on, and that is he a time traveler? Is he an immortal? What is he? They at one point, so Carolyn Monroe is in it, and that she's always worth watching. Just one of the starlets of the 70s British horror, and. At one point, she's like, "Is he a king?" And the hunchback guy kind of laughs and then goes, "Yes, he kind of is in a way." And so again, they're implying, like, just like Vampire Hunter D, like, what if is he the son of Dracula or something like that? So they were adding all sorts of mystery, including the name straight on, and to give it
and
a chance to flush out.
Tail end, so it's just gone. So, all right, Guess what, Scott?
I give up.
Good news. 5 people have showed up. So we can officially start the show. So also, this is going to be the first time this happens. That maybe you can hear it too. So Krista, let's roll it.
There's no.
Is the volume up in the?
Hey.
Oh, well, that is a very important part of a bounce back. Volume. Can we hear that chiming some more? Guys, hey, everybody, welcome to the show. Okay, no, stop. That was a bad one. Stop. We're doing it again. Scott, I apologize.
No problem.
That was a dry run. I want to hear that goddamn song from the jump. And I also got to hear...
Yeah, let's do it.
You got to hear the voice at the beginning. That's our whole...
I meant to just turn it up without it making the noise.
Well, okay.
Okay, kids.
Let's roll. Hit it.
You're listening to FFOP Radio.
Reach the
Welcome to the show. My name's Dave, and this is a stream that you guys are watching. This is a live broadcast, Hangout and Blank. Still, as much work as I put into the show, have not figured out a name, because I always forget about it until I have to, on the fly. I have to think about it. Guys, thanks for joining us. Our guest this evening.
Name of what?
The show. I don't have it like this particular... where I have people come on and answer trivia and not even episodes, show, like in general. I've been calling it Hangout and whatever trivia.
Yeah.
But I feel like it needs to be something snappier or something that's like not.
It's a fistful of trivia.
But here's the thing, trivia, and I tell every guest this, so it's great. We're phasing trivia out. After probably this month, I'm going to switch the motif, or maybe just drop the motifs altogether. I don't know.
It's a fistful of motifs.
Well, maybe
I'm gonna keep peppering you with this shit. Come on.
Fistful of Motifs might be okay. So you may have ironically helped me out when you meant to sabotage me, like most of the people involved with this show.
Mm-hmm.
So, guys, thanks for watching. Obviously, you can see I'm wearing my sunglasses. This is my Invisible Man costume. I was not about to wrap up my whole head in bandages. I'm also, Scott, I'm wearing a collared shirt in your honor because I know you do not like T-shirts.
Hey, thank you.
However, it does have watermelons on it because that was the compromise. You know, a little for you, a little for me. This is a party. It's Watermelon Wednesday. Since I am wearing these glasses and this costume, I look kind of like Magnum PI. But as a second offense, I can't really see anything. So, Krista, you're gonna have to keep me up in the chat. Why can't this button? What? There. Jesus Christ.
Kayla says, "Don't get me wrong. This is a really cool opening song to the intro, but it's going to take me a long time to get used to No More Pain."
I know. So I made for those of you interested, and who would be. But here it is.
What? Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
See? I dropped Pain because we had it for 10 years. And I was like, we need something new, something fresh, something that kicks ass. And that's why I got in touch with Popeye. And I was like, hey, dude, can I use your song for our intro? And he's like, of course. I did make a compromise and leave the end Pain simply because I cannot find all the files I need to recreate that with a different song. So you're lucky. By virtue
Who's the voice at the beginning?
My laziness. That's Krista's friend.
Kristen.
Kristen, yes.
She was my maid of honor in our.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Cool. She's done some VO for us, and so she is essentially the voice of our brand.
Yes.
Until I can get Popeye to give me some more stuff.
Okay.
Buddy Pluto. So Scott, here's what happens.
Yes. What?
You may have heard about it earlier. I mentioned it offhand, but I have a series of questions here I call the FFOP 5. So,
yeah, I might have heard of that.
Yeah, I'm glad. Word gets around. I'm glad people are spreading it.
It does. It does.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read you these questions, judge you harshly but fairly.
Oh, sure.
Maybe harsh is the wrong word. Tough but fair is what I'll say it is. I'm going to be tough but fair.
Okay.
Let it not be
Dad.
said. The very last episode of this show, I was won over by someone who should have gone down in flames. Because I'm tough but fair. Plus, I love how...
Shit. This isn't spin the bottle shit, is it? Come on.
We're so far away, you'd owe me it. And I don't take IOUs on sweet, sweet kisses.
That's fair. No, I understand.
So, anywho, guys, here we go. First question, buckle up. Scott?
Okay, wait, do I get an intro? I mean, do we say who I am?
Oh, shit, sorry. God,
Jeez.
we spent so much time bullshitting at the beginning, I totally forgot. So,
I know.
And plus, and also in my defense, the intro was a problem. This has been a lot of moving pieces.
But don't blame me.
The volume was down because you turned it down.
It's always muted because you used to yell at me when it wasn't.
That's the sound machine. Why would I ever want it muted? That is the sound. That has literally every sound you could ever play for this show on it. Why would I ever in a million years?
Well, there's there's all the times that you guys just accidentally hit the buttons.
I wish here in a perfect world. Hold on, Scott. I'm going to get to your intro in a second, but I'm going to tell you what.
Am I still here? Oh, good. That's good.
In a perfect world, I would have a large, maybe the size of one of these foam pads, of just buttons that I could label with sticky pad notes of all the sound bites that I would love, and just bam, bam, bam. The first show I had, it would be incredibly annoying because it would be the new thing, the new hotness.
Yeah, just
to me,
nothing but.
And I would ruin it, and I would drive people away in droves. But I would be happy.
Basically,
kind of like you're doing right now.
Won't need me.
So let me introduce you to our guest. Obviously, if you see the Facebook stuff going around about him, he is the creator of Warbirds of Mars.
I am.
From the webcomic, the anthology, we've got commissions, we've got novels, we've got Etsy stores, too many things to list, too much knowledge to go over. So let me cut it short and introduce you to Scott Doc Vaughn.
Hey,
Scott,
hello everybody.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, Dave.
It is a real treat. We'll be back right after this in 2 and 2. Just kidding. Just kidding. We don't have commercials.
Oh, that's
Ad-free forever. I guarantee it, because I am super annoyed by commercials, and I would rather do the show for free forever than to make a single fan watch one Raid Shadow Legends commercial. I hate this is an anti-commercial. I hate them. The end. So Scott, again,
yes.
Now that you're introduced, I appreciate you coming on. Thank you. This is something you are definitely going to win at as far as trivia. So I already congratulate you there.
Oh, thanks.
This is Universal Monsters trivia, and this, for the listener and the viewer, this is a real life David versus Goliath. Except this Goliath's name is Scott, and he's not very tall, but he has a tall drink of water as far as Universal Monster knowledge.
I do, and a hat,
and a very tall hat.
Yeah.
10 gallon, he calls it.
Mm.
So
it's French.
I've been learning a lot of French words, which I realize is useless here in America. And also, I'm not going anywhere, so I can't drop them to anybody.
Well, I mean, if you take a day trip at some point, just go up to Quebec or something, then you could use them.
Just take a day trip.
Quebec.
Yeah, a day trip to Quebec.
Hop, skipping a jump. Yeah, I mean, sometimes I just walk there. But, when do you have a free afternoon to just walk to Quebec?
Right.
Hardly ever these days is what I'm telling you guys. So yeah, Scott, now it's your game face. I need seriousness out of you, because the FFLB5 is no laughing matter.
No.
Despite the intro, despite me
on.
not introducing you, despite everything, this is important.
Yes.
Number one.
I'm ready.
What is something that you're into that most people don't know about? So here's the thing. I know about you. I know comics. I know movies. I know pop culture. What is something that you're into that you don't necessarily advertise, or something that you think, not a lot of people know that about me, but I'm super into it because I can't, whatever. Give me something that you're like, I love it, but I can't, it's not a huge part. I mean, every answer has been wildly different, so I can't, I've learned not to expect anything from this question, because it has ranged wildly. It's something mundane as oral hygiene, which Randy gets dropped. Here's the thing, Dirty Randy has been on one thing involved with this show, and it's been a live stream, but he has been a character in dozens of episodes. So Scott, I hope I've done enough vamping as you look around the room.
Seriously.
It's confusedly and in a daze trying to tell me what you're into that nobody else
that nobody knows. I mean, come on.
I mean, not necessarily
you've seen my house,
but something that would surprise your average Scott P. Doc Vaughn dude knower.
Right.
Because when people drop these things on me, I'm like, what? Because some people are under ventriloquism, some people like making models, other people, they sit and read a book while smoking a fine cigar. But something you're into.
All of the above, really, especially drinking a fine cigar.
You definitely want to drink a fine cigar.
Yeah,
you want those to go to waste.
I don't know. It's that one's hard to nail down, because I always feel so outgoing about the things that I'm into. I think,
but I'm just saying,
you might find it. You might find it interesting. Some of the, some of the things that have influenced me.
Well, give me something that you're into that's against type. How about that? If you were to say, I like this, and I would go, what? Knowing you, I would be like, say what? That's what I'm looking.
Even the against type thing is
you're all type.
Well, no, it's
this
just
is a terrible interview. I know
it is. It's
I need
awful.
an answer.
I know.
Not pontification about the human experience. I'm looking for bite-sized
Are you sure?
bits of
I mean, I am big into yeah.
That's a good thing.
I mean, psychology to a certain degree, but definitely into philosophy.
Well, I'm looking for bite-sized chunks of pop sci. I'm not a psychiatrist.
I love old Battlestar Galactica, the original. The original Battlestar Galactica. I mean, that was.
But your interest in culture is so wide. I don't think if you were to to say anything to me, I don't know if I would be surprised.
Right, exactly. See, and that's where my mind goes.
I
and
get
I'm
it
like,
being a difficult question, but I'm also expanding it to like hobbies or just like things.
You know what? I mean, there's some people who will know this for obvious reasons, and others who, but I can't get enough of looking at old houses. I love old houses.
This is exactly the answer I'm looking for.
Yeah, old architecture from like turn of the century up through mid-century is.
So if you could quantify that feeling into like a sentence, like if someone says, "Why do you do that?" and you had to like be like, "Oh, here's why." It's simplest, like even if it's just like a word, like it's a feeling. You say it's nostalgia or if it's comfort. I don't care. Just give me a reason to connect to this.
Nostalgia is a big one.
Okay.
It feels transportive. It feels like time travel.
I get that. I get that exactly. I feel that way every time I go into an Old West ghost town or literally anything vintage. If it was weird 1930s or before, it does feel like a little bit of a time machine.
Yeah.
So I get that. Nice answer. Long answer, but we got to the meat of it, and I appreciate it. So you did earn some points there.
You went on that journey with me, and I thank you, sir.
Sometimes you just got to unpack shit, because if you open a box and there's a bunch of peanuts in there, and the thing you want's at the bottom, you got to go through those goddamn peanuts.
That's true. I mean, the action figure's somewhere down there.
Yeah, that Leonardo's not coming to you, my friend.
No, you got to go to him.
Number 2, give me a band that you could listen to exclusively for the rest of your life. And I'll also give you this recommendation. I always recommend someone still active, because you're going to keep living, obviously. And I hope that the person you choose would be pumping out new material, but it's up to you. If you want to pick someone old who's got a huge catalog, I'm not here to judge, but I'm here to judge, Scott.
Yeah, well, that's obvious. So I really want to tell you how much I thank you judging me and putting me in the spotlight. So thank you.
People will do it silently. I'm going to do it right out loud, so there's no surprise.
No, I get that. Thank you.
The one thing that people in the future will say about this show is it possessed
what a judgmental prick.
Yeah, also that. But transparency will be the second thing.
I'd say Metallica. I mean, you and I both worked at a music store, so we both know how vast our musical tastes can be.
I remember your penchant for a certain type of metal.
Yeah, and Metallica would be it. I mean, that would be it. I mean, you got an extensive catalog, and as requested, still active. So it ticks all the boxes for me. I accept that. Okay.
Side note, one of the bands that I found at Zia or two. I'll give you two. I'll give you the top two. Number one, the Electric Six, because I've followed them since the day I found them at Zia.
Oh, you'll have to play them for me again.
Oh my God, so good.
I remember.
And number 2 was 3 Inches of Blood, because it, for whatever reason, the receptacle in my body was open for bizarre D&D style power metal.
Yeah.
And this album slid into that slot like a glove over a hand. Oh my God. I was like, they're not my thing, because it's a song about orcs and about seafaring battles against goblins and shit. But
it's about hobbits, but
it's the album I'm referring to. I can't remember the name of. I think it's Advance and Vanquish. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I'm quoting you.
Damn it.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, this interview's over.
Victory.
But awesome album. If you ever find yourself in the mood,
play it. Let's send me a link after the show's
over,
because now I'm curious again.
It's good stuff. Listen, if nothing else, I have good taste, people, and I'm smart and I'm always right. Thanks for watching.
Well, and you always got didn't you get your love of orange from a certain band too, or was it vice versa?
My love of orange, if I'm going to be honest, the genesis was just like, fuck you, it's different. But then I backed into it because I really like it.
But I mean, there was that one. Which band was it that had the flat up for forever? That you got signed, and their album cover was pretty orange, as I recall.
Oh, are we talking about? Authority Zero?
Yeah, Authority Zero.
Okay, yeah. So that's the thing. So in the back in the Zia that we used to work at in Chandler, it had a stage. And so various local bands or whatever would show up. So I got to see Authority Zero, Captain Squeegee and the Soap Suds, which is like this tiny little band. It was really good.
Yeah.
I missed some, and honestly, by the end, I was just like so sleepy by it all.
Right. Well, you weren't the one in charge of that shit on Saturday nights like I was.
Like today, me would love to do that shit, but like whatever. 20-year-old me could not give a flying fuck. Boy, oh boy. But anyway, that was fun. Nice answer, Scotty. Let's move on.
Hey, thanks.
Question 3, and this is a big one. This
Number
is a
3.
very divisive one because half the people get it wrong.
Oh, hey.
So, you got to lose a limb. One of the 4.
Okay.
I don't care which. Right now, which one is it?
Left leg.
That is the correct answer. Some people say arms. I don't care. Left or right arm. Whatever handed you are, these things are irreplaceable. Fingers, man. Like, come on. Let's be real.
Yeah.
I will chastise literally everybody who comes on who does not say, even if you want to say right leg, I'll buy it. You get
no, man. I'm an artist, so I definitely need my hands.
Right.
You lose a leg, you can still drag your ass by your hands.
And also, if you're guaranteed to lose something, that doesn't mean the possibility of losing another thing. Let's say you are walking around next to a tractor and your arm gets sucked in and vaporized and spread out over a field of turnips.
Right.
Now you have no leg and no arm, and you could have had just like. Here's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you might have lost 2 arms, but no, you've only lost
arms.
a leg and an arm.
I'm glad we see eye to eye on this, Scott.
We do. And fortunately, we still have all our eyes in this scenario.
Eyes, I'd be okay with losing one because then you get a cool eye patch. Anything that increases your cool appeal, I'll take. Right. Scar on the face, eye patch.
Yeah.
I'm contemplating like
I want to look like Donald Pleasance.
Yeah. Like post like Halloween 5.
Right. Or You Only Live Twice.
Yeah, I would love a nice like hatchet, maybe not hatchet, but like a katana blade, like slice over the right eye and down through the beard that like bisects it, and like it's got that white sort of nice. Like
a milky white eye.
Not. I want my eye to stay, but I mean the scar tissue.
Right. Okay.
What do they call scar tissue that I'm blanking on?
Scar tissue.
No, there's a whatever. You guys get what I'm saying. So, question 4. What animal would you like to be consciously transported into, like, for a test drive? Let's say I'm going to give you a long weekend in an animal. It's Labor Day weekend. It's time to party. We break open the Keystones, and I say, hey, dude, I can put your brain in a goddamn animal for 3 days, then you can go back to work on Tuesday. What animal are you choosing? It has to. I'm going to open it up because everybody. I'll give you anything that's ever lived. So if it's dead, you can have it. Just no mythical shit.
So Manticore is out.
Manticore's out. Cerberus is gonzo.
Ah, shit. Man,
the harpies off the table.
You see, just shooting them down left and right.
Correct.
There's a part of me that would love. Okay, I'm gonna give you a 50-50 on this one. I would love the idea of being like a pterodon because I just love the idea of flying and seeing the world that way.
So let me ask you. Let me clarify that really quick. So when you say pterodon, are we thinking typical mid-sized, or
we're talking that room-sized motherfucker.
Quetzalcoatlus.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Really? No. Wait. Yeah. Is it really called that?
It is Quetzalcoatlus.
Like named after the Mexican god?
And it is, sir. It was as tall as a giraffe.
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome. But I mean, if I have to choose from a living animal, then I'd go elephant.
Okay. Now, you're the first one to choose an herbivore. So what things do you want to hit as an elephant? Like, what are the things you want to check off your list? Like, I get into an elephant body, I want to do X, Y, Z. Like, these are the bam, bam, bam. Give me the high points. What are the things you want to get done before you got to pop out of that body?
Hang out in a rainforest. Go swimming with other elephants. These
are all things you can do as a human.
Yeah, but I mean, if you go swimming with a lot of elephants, you're probably gonna get crushed.
Don't bullshit me. I want things you're going to do with that goddamn trunk of your tusk, goddamn. You know what I'm talking about. I don't know. I don't want to hear an afternoon plan of lounging around reading a book. I want to hear what you're doing with that trunk and what's going to go up with those tusks.
No, if you're an elephant, it's not what you do with the trunk. It's what you do with the feet and what you do with the forehead. So somebody pisses you off, they're getting squished by your forehead.
Still, you got to
Scott's going to fight with another elephant to find a mate.
Are you going to be like Stampy?
Yeah, Stampy.
Oh yeah, that's something that hasn't come up. That's something that hasn't come up. Because if you're out in the wild as this animal, you're probably going to attract attention. So I bet that would be a very awkward experience.
Oh,
I don't know how. Yeah, no, I don't know how it would turn down.
Oh yeah, see, I was assuming like I was automatically transported to its natural habitat, and now you're telling me like I got to go to a bar like this?
No. You are in his natural habitat, but like elephants move in big groups, and if you're going to be a male elephant, you're going to have a harem, and they are going to need to be serviced. So I see a lot of discomfort in your future because you're going to be in there for 3 days, man, and 3 days is a lot of time, and those are a lot of elephants.
It's like an elephant year.
Yeah. Can I change my answer?
I don't know.
Let's go back to Terry.
All right. Yeah, Pteranodon's a nice choice because
thanks.
And especially that one, because you'll probably get to see the extinction because they were one of the species that was right up there till the end.
Yeah.
And being so big, you'll probably get to eat baby sauropods and shit. That'll be super cool.
Yeah. That's an
FFOP approved.
Right. And I pick up Raquel Welch and dump her in the wrong nest. That sort of thing.
Oh, but then you'll be all like weird and be covered in dudes' fingerprints and made out of clay. All right, this is the last.
Yeah, but I get to meet Ray Harryhausen, so that's cool. Yeah.
This is the last question. It's a doozy.
All right.
On a scale of 1 to 10.
1 to 10.
How much do you love Steven Seagal?
1 being the lowest?
Yes, sir.
0, but we'll go with 1 just because I hate to admit it, but Under Siege, is it Under Siege?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Under Siege is a guilty pleasure film.
The boat or the train? The first one
or
the
boat.
Second one?
The first one.
Everybody loves the boat. I'm the only one who loves the train.
I like the train one more than the boat.
The train's okay.
My man, but that is the answer that I'm looking for. I'm looking for polarity. I don't want a soft yes or no.
No. There's definitely a polarity there.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Now, all right, I'll start judging you accordingly.
Okay, fair.
Thank you for taking part in that.
As if you didn't know enough, having worked with me at a fucking music store.
Listen, nobody knows anything about anybody until they've been asked and answered these questions, my friend.
That's true.
Scientific evidence proves.
The world knows. It's like how to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Tootsie Pop.
I have got...
The world knows.
Expertise behind this. This is something that's real. But it's over.
Yeah.
So now we're going to move on.
And I feel lesser for it. Thank you.
I'm glad, because that's the point of it, is I siphon off of your self-worth by asking you these questions. I'm like a self-esteem vampire.
I appreciate it. I feel dead inside now. Thank you.
You know what I love are think of like Universal monster movies and whatnot. Some of my favorite not movie monsters, but monster variations are vampires that absorb things other than blood.
Yeah.
I love that twist.
Again, Captain Kronos is a good one for that, because they're not taking blood in that movie; they're taking youth.
Yeah, I like when they're subsisting rather on something other than blood, because blood is a huge plot point for me because it is nutritionally bereft.
Right.
So it's annoying, and I would rather have them steal something ethereal than to try to back up the scientific nonsense of like blood.
Well, I mean, and that's what I love about the original concept of something like a vampire and going right into the Universal monsters is they're not supposed to be scientific.
Right. And that's the problem.
It is an ethereal creature.
I think that science's marching ever forward has done nothing but dampen horror.
Yeah, it really kind of has.
The longer we were able to hold,
you get interesting concepts here and there, but you're right.
But the longer we're able to hold on to our fear of the unknown and our belief in incredible things.
Yeah.
Kayla says, "Stop being annoyed with blood. You should be positive."
Wah, wah, wah.
I want somebody's moderator privileges suspended.
Taken away. Yep, suspended, possibly banned, definitely flamed.
that's like half the reason to have Kayla as a mod, so she can show up and pun people.
I love it.
So, here's what's going to happen, Scott. We got some questions here about the Universal Monster movies.
Sure.
I know more about the books.
Where did you get these questions?
Krista found them on the internet. Probably Sporkle.
The Google.
If I had to guess.
That was not Sporkle.
It was Universal City Monsters Trivia.com/California.
Sparkling would be the wrong type of vampire anyway.
Yeah. So, I need a team name from you.
I'm Team Talbot.
Team Talbot. Now, of course, what a great reference. My favorite of the Universal Monsters. So now I'm going to have to pivot. Oh, here I'll be Team Lugosi.
Nice.
I'll be Team Lugosi.
Okay.
All right. So, here's what's going to happen. You're going to get the first question, obviously, because you're the guest, and it's foregone conclusion. I can take a nap right now because it doesn't matter what. It's like as if you put an infant in the ring with Mike Tyson. But I'm going to try until I am stamped under his boot.
Or crushed under my forehead, as it were.
Or crushed under your massive forehead. Or picked off with that huge beak of yours.
Right.
So, Krista, why don't you go ahead and hit him with the first question?
Okie dokie. What is considered the last of the Universal monster films?
I want to say that's House of Dracula.
Negative.
No.
I feel like this may be.
Oh shit! I know that.
This may be somebody's opinion, but I feel like I heard like this, like the Return of the Creature of the Black Lagoon was the last the official one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not right either.
What is it?
It's can I go in for the save?
Well, you won't get a point, but it'll make
sure,
it look smart to our audience.
There's Creature in the Black Lagoon, Return of the Creature, and then Revenge of the Creature.
Revenge of the Creature.
Oh, that's not right either. It's the Leech Woman.
Oh shit! You're right. I totally forgot about the Leech Woman.
I know.
I don't even know that one. I haven't seen it.
So that's the thing. This trivia was misleading because the Revenge of the Creature was the last big monster release.
Right.
Leech Woman was the official last release. What a thickin'. This is bullshit, Krista. I'm gonna flip this table. Tonight's the night. There's no way around it. I'm gonna flip this table.
You just got the place back in one piece.
Oh, I don't care.
I'm not helping you.
Listen, it's table flipping time. All right.
We got it. Do you remember when we sold at Zia those little like mini tables that you could flip when you were pissed?
Yeah. All right, Krista. Hit me.
It was like a Lego size table.
Yeah, those are always fun.
What is the Gillman?
The Gillman is the creature from the Black Lagoon. I mean, technically, like as a species, he was found in the Amazon.
Just a general what he is.
He's a monster. He's an aquatic fish monster, man. How much more do you want?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could just give it to you.
Well, Wolfman's got nards. I know that. I know that Fishman, if you shoot him with a shotgun, he goes down.
A prehistoric monster is what.
Wow.
I'll defer to Scott. Like, do you think that I was correct in assessing?
I mean, you knew what.
Yeah, I mean, the only word you didn't use is prehistoric, but
he's. How do you not? I mean, come on, give me the point.
I mean, it was. I mean, that was. That was the cool part about. That was something I really love about that movie. Is it starts off with them like finding, like chunks of
alligator.
What's that?
Chunks of alligator.
No, that's chunks of. Yeah. I think you are alligator people.
Cool, because they say that the creature can like break an alligator in half. So maybe
exactly.
Imagining.
But no, they find the whole expedition is started when they find a fossil of the hand of a gill man,
which is always crazy. I love B movies and whatever, but a fossil takes a long time to be a thing.
Right. So hence prehistoric.
But here's my thing. So that the concept of that creature staying intact and recognizable from fossil all the way to a present day incarnation, screw you. Science.
What? Come on, alligators.
No, there's wild. Listen, we don't have time to get into my prehistoric nonsense, but there were wild variations, my friend. Anywho, I mean, you'd say, yeah, that's a thing, but it wouldn't be like, oh, it's like looking in a mirror, which they always do in the movies.
Right.
Chris, is it Scott's turn?
It is.
All right.
What event was responsible for the end of Universal's classic monsters?
Event. The end of the classic monsters, meaning the 1950s?
Yes.
Probably.
Okay.
Leech Woman was out.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I'm going to assume a buyout, but that's a guess on my part.
Lock in.
Yeah, I'm just going to say buyout.
Mm-mm.
Was it a fire?
No.
Oh.
Nuclear panic?
Are we kidding?
Well, okay.
Oh,
yes,
yeah. All
yes.
right. Yeah. So we've moved on from classic monsters to atomic monsters.
Yeah, this is more metaphorical and not what like this didn't kill the studio, it killed the concept because that's when we got, giant insects.
Sorry, these questions are poorly worded.
Yeah, these are misleading.
That's all right. It's making it an interesting conversation. Yeah, because then you have, Warner Brothers comes out with them, and Toho comes out with Godzilla, and everybody, jumps on the bandwagon and
everything
churns
gets supersized.
out. So it just became the atomic age.
Nuts.
All
right,
David. Who played Dracula only twice?
Only twice? I want to. If this is a trick question, I'm worried. Is it Lugosi?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say because
technically he only played Count Dracula twice.
Right.
And
that's
the second time. Do you know the second time?
It's not Plan 9, right?
No.
Okay. Then no.
It's Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein.
Oh yeah.
The only other time he officially played Dracula.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I knew that like Lee had done it a million times.
Oh yeah.
I was trying to think of the guy who did the Spanish version of Dracula. I thought maybe he, but yeah, Lugosi himself.
Yes, he played other vampires.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Try and stop him. He needs heroin. All right, Krista.
Scott.
Yes.
How is the Wolfman killed?
Which time?
Probably the first one, right? If I had
in the Wolfman.
In the original Wolfman, he is beaten to death by a silver cane.
You are correct.
Finally, a point.
Interesting. So what are the scores?
Team Lugosi has 2.
Whoa.
Team Talbot has 1.
What the fuck?
He got we gave him the Gilman one, and then the Bela Lugosi Dracula only twice.
You're welcome.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Looks like Dracula versus the Wolfman is turning out very peculiar.
Yeah. Fuck Google.
Who's up?
You are.
All right, hit me.
What was
a witch?
What was the first monster pair up?
It was Frankenstein and the Wolfman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sucks because you guys were already talking about these things before.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, that's the thing. Like,
that's why trivia needs to be before you guys even talk. Like before the everything.
It's whatever. It's fine.
Scott.
Yes.
Who was the first well-known Universal monster to appear on screen?
The Mummy.
Was it?
What? Wait. So
you already said the Mummy.
First well-known Universal monster to appear on screen. First well-known. The Mummy was the first big official one, but you have the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
What kind of slapdash shit is this? You can just say all kinds of answers. What's going on here?
Correct.
This is bullshit.
And before that, you have the Phantom of the Opera.
You're gonna force my hand and have to steal this, Scott.
Is it Phantom of the Opera?
No.
Is it Frankenstein?
No.
Fuck.
Oh, I don't know who.
It's Dracula.
But Frankenstein was before Dracula, wasn't he?
Look,
so was the Mummy.
I am telling you what the internet.
Does it give a year?
No, if it did, I didn't write it down.
I don't know. Right. Something tells me.
Because I mean, like, no, that's wrong. Unless we're talking like
trivia.
Nosferatu, which wasn't even made by Universal.
Who? Well, yeah, but I wouldn't see Count Orlok. See, here's the thing. Full disclosure, I was gonna call my team Orlok.
Nice.
Because I like the reference, but not Universal, so I didn't do it.
Right.
I don't know. This trivia is rough. What we need to do is buy every Trivial Pursuit out there, and then just have people pick one when I have them on the show. Because you can't trust the internet for trivia.
We have the super old one, I think.
But who's gonna? Do you want to come on the show and do super old Trivial Pursuit? No one gives a. I don't give a fuck about the Falkland Islands or what ran for the Olympics in 1978. We need some specific ass shit here.
Look, David.
Yes.
What season can the Wolfman transform?
Autumn.
Yeah.
Well, sure. That's kind of a horseshit because that's only because in the first movie they say even a man who is pure of heart and says his prayers by night will become a wolf when the wolfbane blooms and the autumn moon is bright. But in this very next fucking movie, they change it to, when the moon is bright. So they take out autumn like right away. We got to go concrete original canon here. That's
Scott. What Ultimate Monster? I can't wear this anymore. Movie was shot in 3D.
Say it again.
What Universal monster was shot in 3D?
Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yes.
Oh yeah. I knew it had to be a latter date, like near 50s.
Yeah, it's totally 50s stuff.
There's no way like there was ever an incarnation of like, Frankenstein being like, oh, like reaching over the screen.
Right.
Not even Hammer did that.
No, all the 50s, a lot of the 50s gimmicks and the idea of widescreen all comes from the explosion of of television in the 1950s. Yeah, so all the theaters are freaking out how to get people back in the theaters.
You got to compete, man, and now it's getting rough.
Yeah.
All right, Krista, hit me.
How is the creature from the Black Lagoon killed?
Oh man, I don't know. They shoot him.
Yeah.
See, I remember. I thought there's no way it was that easy. Like how there's no.
No, it's it really is.
So he dies the same way in every incarnation I've ever seen him.
Yeah, pretty much. He just always gets shot.
The Gilman's only weakness. Yeah. Bullets.
You can shoot Frankenstein like 15 times. Frankenstein's monster.
You can blow up the Wolfman with dynamite.
Yeah, and he'd be fine.
I would imagine this.
Don't you understand? I'm a Wolfman.
Yeah. Obviously, they cut this out of the final cut of Monster Squad, but imagine seeing his dog crawl along the concrete like a snake, a little snail, big caterpillar, an inchworm. It's magic, guys. It's magic. You can't kill him.
Scott.
Yeah.
How is Imhotep the mummy destroyed?
They pull on his bandage and he spins around like a whirling dervish.
That would be Monster Squad, and you are incorrect, sir.
Yeah, they know how to do it.
Imhotep. I'm trying to remember now. Been a little while since I saw the ending of that one.
It's probably something easy, like he gets shot.
Or
maybe since he's so dry, maybe he gets splashed with water and he just turns to mud.
It's like paper mache.
Yeah, he's like paper mache. He's like a piñata and he just gets wet and he dissolves.
Do you know? Sorry, tangent patrol here,
sure.
But it was like Pierce or whatever his name was, who did the makeup on that first scene of him just standing there as the mummy and he starts to move, and basically all he moves is his hand, and it's like the facial makeup and the bandages, and it was like 8 hours
and they didn't even shoot his head
of makeup just for it's literally like 2 or 3 seconds of screen time. It's amazing.
But it's a good shot.
Yeah.
Listen, the craft
I'm gonna say I want to say that he's
it's something old timey. You're overthinking.
Yeah, it's like he's killed by the reflecting pool or something having to do with, bringing spirits back from the past or whatever. But
I'm gonna need a final answer here, Scott.
Yeah, that's it. Let's go with it.
That's not right,
so
David.
Is it some sort of spirit pool? I'm gonna say fire.
Yeah, he burns to death.
Does he really? In the original?
Here's all these old-timey monsters are being fought with old-timey technology. So you just have to go with the lowest common denominator.
It was stone.
Like back in the old days, they weren't like, we need to find a scientific way to fight Frankenstein. They were just like, burn that fucker.
Right.
They say, we don't need a mummy patrol. We need a match. And they say, what? You had a gill man? Here's a gun, man.
Are you about done?
That's all I got so far.
Okay,
If I
David.
think of other ones, I'll tell you.
Lon Chaney.
Can we take back one of his points? You know, because that I gave him earlier.
I mean,
All right, cool.
the moderator, Kayla. What do you think?
Hey, what the? This is a mutiny.
David, Lon Chaney and Lon Chaney Jr. were best known for what roles?
Well, the Wolfman.
I need two.
Sorry. So the dad was the Phantom of the Opera, and the son was the Wolfman.
You are correct.
Bingo. Yeah, Lon Chaney, man with 1,000 faces, right?
Right.
Real weird.
Right.
The Cheneys had, especially Chaney Jr. I really like his style, but he's not a very great actor.
No. He does have good moments, though. I really
yeah.
Like every once in a while, he really shines.
But he's always the same character. He's always the put upon everyman.
Yes and no. Like The Haunted Palace, for example, where he's one of the immortals serving Yog Sothoth or whatever it is, and he's just the creepy groundskeeper who it turns out is actually a couple hundred years old. I think he's pretty. Yeah, I think he's really cool in that.
But that's his. If I had to say what type of role is Lon Chaney Jr. is he's something he is conscripted into.
Right,
he never has very much agency. Like in The Indestructible Man, he's just a product of a science experiment. Like in The Wolf Man, he's inflicted with the curse.
You got to see Alligator People. That's all I got to tell you, because I just saw that recently, and he's like the slimy, drunken, murderous, rapey swamp guy who hates alligators because he has a hook hand because an alligator took his hand, so he just randomly gets drunk and shoots alligators. He's a complete ass.
Toward the latter part of his career, it was weird.
Oh yeah, no, he was alcoholic. So.
Yeah, it was sad. All those, whatever. We don't get down, but I think that he definitely after a while of being basically the Wolfman and everything, because he's just a guy afflicted with something. He eventually comes to grips with the character before he goes off the rails. He becomes a great character right before the complete crash, and he balloons up to an insane degree.
Right.
And then stop speaking roles, and so sad.
Yep.
All right, Krista, who's up?
Me.
Scott.
Hit it.
What year was the first Frankenstein movie made?
You gotta know this.
Well, wait a minute. Are we talking the Universal one?
Universal. This is Universal Monster Trivia.
Well, then it should be 1931. But if we're talking the Edison version from 1914 or 1910, I'm not sure.
We're not thinking that, right, Krista? That's not Universal.
Well, I would probably go with one of your latter answers.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm thinking. See, it's not even a universal question.
Yeah, that's not a universal question.
Sorry, how am I supposed to know? When I Google
I know.
It predates Universal.
Yeah.
How do I know that?
No, you don't. It's okay. It's not your fault. It's a piece of shit questionnaire. Yeah, there was the Edison version, and I want to say it was 1910.
Yeah. And also it was
right.
10 minutes long or something. It was something incredibly short.
Actually, no. I mean, it's I don't know if it's more than a reel or not. I want to say it is, but I think part of the problem is but I think part of the problem was that I think it's an incomplete, it's a lost film. Chunks of it exist, but I don't know if the whole thing does.
I don't know.
So anyway, I got a point on that one, right?
Yes.
All right, good.
David.
David.
Who played the Invisible Man in The Invisible Man Returns?
H.G. Wells? I have no idea.
No. Scott?
There's no way I would ever guess.
In The Invisible Man Returns?
Yes.
Claude Rains.
No idea. Claude Rains is the original, but he's not back in the second one.
Harvey the Rabbit.
Oh, that's it. It's Harvey.
It's Harvey the Rabbit.
Yeah.
Final answer.
Yep.
Really?
No, we don't. I don't know.
We don't know.
Oh, Vincent Price.
What?
Oh, I think he does the voice.
Yeah, that's wrong. He only does the voice in Abbott and Costello Meet the Wolfman. Meet Frankenstein.
Oh, yeah, because he smokes that cigarette.
Right. That's it. You just hear Vincent Price for say 2 lines. Doesn't matter. You didn't get it anyway.
Yeah. Well, okay. This is by far the least successful trivia outing, but it's also by far the oldest topic, so it probably has gotten watered down over the years.
Yeah, and I know literally nothing about it to know that it was right or wrong.
Yeah.
On here. So
Twitter fact check it.
Who's next? I don't even know.
Scott is.
Scott, who played both the bride and Mary Shelley in The Bride of Frankenstein?
This is a good one.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember her name. It's Anna Kendrick? No.
She's old.
You had no idea. She actually drinks the blood of babies, and that's how she looks.
She's an Elizabeth Bathory?
Yeah, she's an Elizabeth Bathory.
These questions are all over the map.
Yeah, and any other time. I just said it like the other day. I was having a conversation about it.
I'm sure it comes up all the time. I'm dropping it every other day in conversations.
I'm not even making this shit up. Like I know.
I believe it when you say it. I'm obviously bullshitting. I'm going to need an answer, Scott.
In fact, she's probably listening in right now going, you know this. And she's saying the answer, and I don't know it.
And you can't get any help from the typing square.
I know.
But I do need an answer.
Yeah.
Dead air is not an answer.
So, I mean, you could at least play it. I'm ticking down or something.
We could. We do have a sound machine.
Okay, there you go. So, yes, the Bride of Frankenstein was played by... I don't fucking know. What's her name?
Here, watch how you handle this question if you don't know. I don't know, Krista. What's the answer?
Elsa Lanchester.
Elsa Lanchester. See, I knew.
Well, if you knew, you might have gotten the point.
Wait, this is the last
but
question
I didn't,
that we have.
so I don't.
I have one
we
more
don't
question.
Live in Candy and Nutland. One more question, and what are the scores?
Team Lugosi has 7.
Whew.
6 if you want to take one away from the other
we're taking one away. 6.
Right,
Team Lugosi has 6, and Team Talbot has 3.
Yeah.
Well,
weeks.
That point you stole. I mean, you can keep it. Put it on his score.
Oh, thanks.
Okay.
Since he's gonna take it away, might as well get used. I'm big a fan of recycling.
David, from what classic film would you find the phrase "I meddled in things that men must leave alone"?
Frankenstein?
No.
I don't know. Then my second guess would be just as good.
Scott.
Because that's every monster movie. You meddle in something you shouldn't have.
It really is. But somehow that line sounds like
I've got a strong contender for number 2.
Like Boris Karloff to me saying it as Imhotep. I meddled in things I didn't belong.
That was a weird thing that he said.
He had a stroke in the middle.
Yeah. This is Boris Karloff having a stroke on the movie.
Karloff, side the kick. I'm going to say The Mummy.
You're going to say The Mummy?
No.
That was my answer. So what is it?
The Invisible Man.
Yeah.
I figured you would have gotten it, David, because
Cloud Rain's line. Yeah.
You dressed up like it.
Well, but here's the thing. They all mess in God's domain and get punished.
They pandered in God's domain. Oh, that's not right.
Like Frankenstein brings back the dead. God smites him. They go and bring back a prehistoric fish monster, and some people get smited. Dracula, I don't know if that sort of fits the mold, but
he wants to make more vampires.
Yeah, that's the thing. Everybody tampers in God's domain. If you stay, if you're a gypsy, stay in your goddamn caravan because there's werewolves out in the goddamn moors, motherfucker. Like everybody at that gypsy camp knew there were werewolves around, and yet, here, Scott. What is the deal? If I'm a gypsy moving from town to town, I'm in the know about werewolves, and Lawrence Talbot runs through our shit, and we know that he is going to get bit by a werewolf, thus putting us at risk. Why not stop his ass?
Well, what's even worse than that? It's like the whole fucking camp knows that Bela Lugosi is a werewolf. They just ride around with him. That night, he's doing, fucking tarot cards and shit, and there's a full moon out, and he's like, oh, wait, I forgot about that full moon thing.
Everyone,
you need to go home. And just everybody in camp's just like, oh right, Bale is a werewolf. Forgot about that. Maybe, I don't know, we might want to tie him down or, stake him out. I don't know. But nah, it's all right. Just, we just lose track of time because we're gypsies. We don't know.
This might blow your mind. Every Universal Monster movie is basically built on enablers.
Yeah.
Prove me wrong. Because everybody who in every monster movie is like, this is a bad idea, but they still go along with it.
Yeah, and you have a team of people who are going along with it.
Yeah. Everything is built like everybody around Frankenstein, his whole family. What's his
bad idea? Yeah, let's. Dwight, it's his dream, so let's help him bring to life the dead guy.
Yeah, it always is. It always starts out with someone getting an idea, everyone around them being like, "This is stupid," but not stopping them, which is crazy.
That last guy that we sent to that castle in Transylvania, he didn't come back so well, but let's send another guy.
And isn't it always convenient that all the people who live around the monster know exactly how to deal with the monster, but have never dealt with the monster?
Yeah, get the fuck out of our town.
Like, if you live around Dracula and literally everybody knows Silver Crosses, all of these things are his weakness.
Right.
If not one person in the village.
Well, all right. Be fair. Be fair. I mean, the villagers usually just think, pitchforks and torches. They don't. Yeah. You need event help. You need somebody to come in and say, what we do with this situation.
Sure, within certain circumstances, but 9 times out of 10, the people who know how to do the thing that they should do don't. Like take for example, this is a very small microcosm of it, but Lawrence Talbot, he knows that what he needs to do, but he can't because no one believes that he's a goddamn werewolf.
Right.
So, it's just like all this crazy shit happening and everybody just like not only looking the other way, but also plugging their ears until they are picked off by a monster.
Well, he did have muddy footprints. But, I mean, he was obviously in his room all night. And, okay, sure, 2 or 3 people got slaughtered last night. That's but fine. It wouldn't be the dude with the muddy footprints still sleeping in his bed. I mean,
horror is built on the backs of enablers. One of my favorite stories, H.P. Lovecraft's Reanimator, is told from the perspective of the enabler.
Of an enabler, yeah.
And not only an enabler, but like a willing participant.
He's like, we shouldn't do. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, horror needs those people. So I get it. So
right,
but still, it seems very like. And of course, cut that out. And there's no movie, but I would like it to be something else besides.
Well, it has to. I mean, isn't that the idea?
Stupid.
Isn't that the idea behind horror, though? I mean,
not necessarily. Look, okay, so here's an example: Call of Cthulhu. The shit still happens despite no one knowing why.
Yeah.
And it's scary. Like, we don't have villagers around Cthulhu's stone house being like, here's how to do it. He shows up and it's fucking terrifying. So it's not a culture of enablers. It's a culture of accidentally fucking up the cosmos possible.
Yeah.
I like different motivations is what I'm getting at. I don't like when horror characters are willfully stupid.
Well, you go back far enough and you could argue about Dracula. Maybe that's not enabling. Maybe it is, whatever. But I mean, you go back to like Phantom of the Opera, and that's literally like a revenge story and then a tale of passion and so on. So it's like you go back far enough. It's just like we ran out of. It's like all 5 of the good old school ideas were taken, so we just needed enablers from there on out.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And that's the thing that we keep coming back to is like Dracula is the exception that proves all the rules because all these sweeping statements can be laid at every of these movies' feet except for Dracula.
Yeah.
Which probably is because it was the weird way it was written, I bet.
Yeah. It's
told as an experience through all these people. So
and then even some of that is a lot of that is cut out of that stage version that became the film version. Yeah. So
but what I also like is no one is an idiot in that movie. No one's like, why is this happening? Because Dracula is fucking stealth.
Right.
He's under the radar and he's swooping around. He doesn't get a following and any knowledge and a fan base until later. And then he's got, spelling his name backwards and pulling all kinds of zany tricks and shit. So Dracula breaks the mold as far as class.
So you're saying you did fall for Alucard.
Yeah.
You didn't see that one.
Obviously, I didn't.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing: if you
he even calls himself a count still,
right? But here's the thing: I realize that movie-going audiences in the 30s and 40s and 50s were probably basically just regarded as cattle by movie theater owners and
don't fool yourself. We're still considered cattle.
So, right. but imagine what it was like back then. So you needed a character to basically say the word and basically spell Dracula backwards and have another character walk up out of frame and be like, "What are you doing?" And then have the first guy go, "Oh, I was just curious. Anyway, what's going on with the plot? Can we move along with the story?" And I get it. Alucard. This isn't Sesame Street.
Well, be fair. That is one of the worst Dracula films, but still.
True, but still, don't insult your audience. They may be old timey, but they're not idiots.
Which brings us back to Lon Chaney Jr., by the way. It's like, I like him in a lot of stuff, but his turn as Dracula, awful.
Yeah, and that's another weird thing about all those movies, too, is they just sort of cycled through their roles. Everybody was everything.
They were, it's interesting how the Universal films, especially the 30s and 40s, were a cash-in to a certain degree. And yet there was this link of continuity between them, which I really appreciate. You can watch all the Frankenstein movies in order, including all the ones with the Wolfman, and they all link up. Each one picks up where the last one left off.
Yeah.
And I love that idea of continuity between them.
Yeah, I was just referring to the actors. Bela Lugosi played Frankenstein. He played Dracula.
Yeah. Everybody just gets rotated through. It was
this musical chairs. Yeah. But that you do bring up an interesting point, is that the continuity through these stories is incredible because number one, they're paying attention to something that they don't do today. They didn't have DVDs, they didn't have VHS.
You didn't really have a reason to, but
they're continuing a story from a year ago and paying attention to these details when the general public won't remember. It was a year ago.
Right. But the kids, they remember. They always know. You gotta convince the kids.
That was big back in the day, just super strict continuity and a through line through movies.
Well, I wouldn't say super strict, but it was there. There was
more than they are doing today in stuff that is getting attention. So I'm going to say strict compared to today's standards.
And also, I'll point out that these weren't. Some of them were. Some of them were B movies, but a lot of them were. These were A pictures too.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the Universal stuff. That's why they look so spectacular. It's like you have
money,
big time talent on there from between the set design and, of course, usually German cinematographers and so on. There's a reason they look fantastic and are memorable.
Yeah, they're works of art.
Right, they really are.
Kayla says if it was Sesame Street, they wouldn't be using letters; they would count.
You're probably
one bad joke.
Yeah, I don't know. There's so much. The Universal monsters are a very interesting niche of culture now, because as we get further away from it, everybody sort of gets jaded with the horror genre. I don't know if I'm finding more people in my life looking back to the Universal monsters. I think it's becoming a smaller and smaller niche because they've been watered down so much. Maybe that's just a product of the times, and we're moving away from just being able to be scared by things.
I think it's also a difference in culture. When I was growing up, a lot of that stuff was still being played on TV. And culture, by culture, I mean where it was readily available. Once upon a time, everybody was watching the same 5 channels. And there was, The Wizard of Oz got played every year. Dracula and Frankenstein got played every year. Or, back in the 40s, it was midnight showings and stuff like that. There's reasons why these, other than their classic nature, there's reasons why this shit was perpetuated for so long and they became iconography. Yeah. And part of that is, repetition to the masses that only had access to a couple of different formats, and that was your television and going to the films, so it was constantly being shown to you in one form or another.
I think that time will obviously bear out whether this happens or not, but I think that the Universal monsters will go down in history akin to Shakespeare, in that they are constantly referenced and constantly.
Yes. Well, they are iconography,
right? But the average person on the street will have zero knowledge of the source material. They'll know simply by pop culture alone. Like most people's acquaintance with Lovecraft,
right? Or even Shakespeare.
Yeah, as I'm saying, there are spots in that pantheon, like for a Howard, Lovecraft, a whatever, and it's interesting that these things, and literally Cthulhu shouldn't be a thing. There was never a picture of him outside of like a hand-drawn scribble, but he's become this icon, and I think Bela Lugosi's Dracula, all that will always be iconic, but nobody
will know what it was from.
Like starting today, let's say everyone born from today on will be like, "That's Dracula." You know what happens in the movie, and they go, "What? It's a movie?" Say what?
Yeah, good point. I can't disagree. I can hope.
So what I'm saying is,
but
I'm worried.
Prepare for the worst.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I'm worried that it'll be also akin to Shakespeare, where like the people who are into it are insufferable about it.
But the very nature of something classic and iconic means that it is there. You can find it. You will have a percentage, a small percentage, but a percentage of people who want to go back.
I mean, it was big enough. It was big enough that there will always be interest in it. Like it won't. This Universal Monsters, series or what franchise, whatever you want to call it. Never.
And there's always and there's always people with, who are, for example, one of my favorite YouTube channels. He loves old horror movies. I watch him because he goes to a lot of theme parks and so on. But in between theme park shit, he's actually because he lives in California, he's gone to some of the shooting locations of the original Mummy and things like that, and he'll do these really cool cross sections. By the way, I'm talking about Justin Scard. If anybody wants to look him up at any point. But he's got a few episodes where he goes out into the California desert and shows you where they shot like exterior scenes of quote unquote Egypt, and then he'll cut like down the middle of the frame, what it looks like now versus the scene from the movie. And
I love when people will pay attention to detail and get the framing just right and do that slow wipe or the split screen. That takes talent, man. Right,
and passion, and the guy is really showing. So if he's got 1,000 viewers of that episode and even one goes, oh, maybe I need to see the original Mummy, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like the seeds are always there, and they're big enough that they ain't going anywhere.
Right. So there you go.
I'm also glad that it didn't have like a huge decline, since they always were sort of campy. There wasn't like a sliding of a Chuck Norris or the sliding of a Seagal, where it's like a slow slump. It was just like, hey, now atomic shit's in, and bam, you're gone, monsters. That's how I'm sure it was devastating.
Should be a trivia question.
I'm sure it was devastating to the actors, but it's the way stories should go. You shouldn't drag it out until your favorite characters are so old they're wearing Depends and being pushed around by nurses.
Well, that being said, everything old is new again. You still did see Karloff, Lon Chaney, as well as Vincent Price in 1960s old school horror movies with that 60s twist. Right. So it's not. Everything does kind of come back in its own way.
Right. But that was a reinterpretation. We'll call that a reinterpretation. But
I'm even just talking about the Poe cycle. It's like you have these horror stars who are old and they were hip. They were in. Right. They were doing new horror movies that were popular.
Right. But these towering figures, these iconic figures, would never reemerge.
Right.
The actors would go on, but they would never reach those heights.
Right.
Like Rolling Stones write Satisfaction and
All right. I get you. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah. So I think that's how every franchise should be. I don't know. I get the desire to like put out. Everybody loves money. I get it. Everybody. But,
right. And everybody's got to put their shine on something.
Everybody. But what if, and bear with me for a second, what if the things we made were for people who had passion for the ideas and weren't just like, we should make the Scorpion King 4 because The Rock is big and we've got computers that'll make cartoons of a scorpion. I don't give a fuck about that.
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, it doesn't work like that
It
anymore.
needs.
I mean, it could. I mean, we could get back to that, but at the moment, yeah.
Sure. I mean, everything moves in cycles. So eventually people will get fed up with the schlock and they'll go back to independent. I think here's this is completely off topic, but I'm gonna run this up your flagpole.
Yeah.
The pandemic has been an incredible boon for independent producers of shit. Because I think now that we're all stuck inside, it's now time that we start broadening our horizons, because you can only binge watch The Office so much. You can only binge watch Parks and Rec. You can only go back to those things because we're all, if you're smart, stuck inside. So I think people, seeing just anecdotally with this show, with the podcast and with this live show, I'm seeing a lot of interest being generated simply because there's so little to do that you haven't already done, and the big stuff is getting more derivative and more watered down. People are looking for specificity and for abrasive characters like this guy right here.
Right.
So I would like to thank the one, I'm not going to thank the pandemic, but the one silver lining, as everybody's lives are falling apart, people who deserve attention are slowly gaining it.
That's true. That's a good point.
And that's a weird thing, because you'd think that moving to a more isolated online culture, you'd be like, oh, more and more pulled into the things you already like. But that's not human nature. We want to reach out and find something.
Yeah.
Especially when everything you're given is like the same flavor. You want something spicy. You want something bitter. You want something sour. And we are that all at once.
So you're saying you're the IPA of podcasts?
Yeah, nice, big foamy head on there.
Let's not get carried away.
Yeah. So I think roll that around your head for a little while and get back to me. It'll be an interesting thought experiment that I want to run by everybody. Because I just even also myself have been reaching out for more independent things. Like every independent artist out there right now is putting on free concerts on YouTube. There's never been a better time to be a music lover, because you can watch the person you want live in your living room in your underwear. Like, sure, maybe you saw the Stones.
Well, I mean, you could do that before, but now it's normal.
Right. But you didn't have access to it. Like before, you'd have to burn calories, spend money, get out of the house, have a rough night. And now it's so easy, and it's people you would never see, and it's closer than you could. Because, let's be real. Some of these people putting on free shows or even cheap shows, the camera's right there. You're not paying $5 to get nosebleeds, so you can kind of hear what's going on and catch a buzz off a warm Coors. You're in your own home, in your nice, comfy chair. You get as many snacks as you want. You turn the AC down to whatever you want, and you are face to face with the artist of your choice.
I did also just get a cool survey in the email today from the West Wind Drive-In, which is the last remaining drive-in in Arizona, at least official drive-in, not one of these pop-ups. And their survey was looking for what they need to be playing in October, like as a series. So were you looking for slasher picks? Were they looking for by genre? Were they looking by era? So they were like 20s, 30s, or like 30s, 40s, 50s horror movies. Were they so it was cool that they were asking, not only about horror movies for October to be played, outside, in the comfort of your own car, at a real drive-in, but they were, it wasn't just the 80s, they were. Have
we not talked about drive-ins? I feel like I talked about drive-ins with somebody, and you would be the prime demo, because that would be a thing that should be taking off.
It is. That drive-in's doing. Right, that drive-in's doing well. There's been pop-up drive-ins around the city. Yeah, I hear that's a kind of a thing.
I'm bummed they tore down the one in Scottsdale finally. Because now someone throw some money into that thing. Talk about a tailor-made experience. You want to get out of the house, you can. You don't have to leave your car. You get to feel like you did something. You experienced it as a group, but you weren't annoyed by people's farting or crunching on popcorn.
Well, at least nobody you didn't know.
Right. basically within reach, you have some power over them. But
Yes.
like everybody else outside those goddamn windows, my friend.
Yeah.
I would go to a drive-in, not only because it's a cool concept.
Yeah.
But it would be the perfect way to like go on a date or whatever.
Yep. It's pretty
You're
cool.
right there in the car. I mean, I don't want to get too graphic, but there's a lot of things in reach, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, what are you talking about? I don't understand.
Things could get out of hand if you catch my... Huh? You can't see my camera, but I'm winking, Scott. I'm winking.
Oh, you're winking. Okay.
Winking.
I still not on... Oh, you're talking about the popcorn.
Thank
okay,
you,
so that's cool.
Listen, I'm as terrible as everything is. I'm trying to keep a positive spin about it because we can see some interesting.
No, there's some great stuff going on.
Yeah, I think if we survive this, we'll have a more interesting culture, and right on fucking time too. Because I was one of these assholes who's like, man, I would like to go back and visit 20s because it seems like an interesting time. Meanwhile, in reality, it was full of strife and anarchists and bombs and death and destruction. And here we are again. It's 2020, and I got my wish. I get to live through a fucking depression, a pandemic, terrorism. I got it all. Little did I know.
100-year cycle, man. Yeah. Human life.
Little did I know I shouldn't have wished.
Nope. It was all your fault.
But at least, here's the thing. At least living in the 20s, I'd get the cool architecture. I'd get the aesthetic at least. I had to suffer through modern aesthetics.
All the more reason why you need to be taking a couple day trips, is, a couple cool places with neat architecture and cool old houses. Look, we've come full circle in our conversation.
Oh my God.
This may come as no surprise, but we're literally in like small towns every weekend. Like every weekend I pack up the car and I go somewhere that's small and out of the way.
Yeah, I like to take day trips a lot too.
It's a wonderful experience.
Yeah, I've been going, especially going, north up to Prescott or whatever. I get a lot of what I want, including nicer weather. A lot of times 20 degrees less. Yeah. But even then, as soon as I can, I'm ready to go down to Bisbee and Tombstone and so on. Yeah.
That's what I think a lot of people don't realize that about Arizona is everything is within reach that most other states have. Like we have snow, we have mountains, we have trees, we have all that shit. It's just we don't live around it because we all live in, for some reason,
in two big cities, and that's it.
Yeah, for some reason, people were moving to Arizona and they saw the mountains, the snow, the pleasant weather up north and down south, and they're like, you know where we're gonna sit? Right here in the devil's asshole. Could you imagine if?
Well, that's where everybody else is. Just you get an awful lot of.
Put your head.
Get an awful lot of.
Put your head in this direction. Let's say Phoenix started where Payson was, or Prescott was, or someplace that has fucking excellent weather. Imagine how less pissed off people would be. When you go to Phoenix, it's hot and it's shitty and it's dirty. Imagine just dropping that temperature between 20 and 50 degrees. Everyone is a little less of an asshole.
Yeah.
That's science.
It's true. It's science.
I talked to a scientist. He said you drop somebody's ambient temperature 20 degrees, less asshole. And I said, can you sign this? Yeah. And he said, no. And he left.
Weird.
So, I mean,
it's because he needed to go eat. That's the other thing that keeps you from being an asshole.
Trust me, he was a scientist, and I did talk to him, and I did get confirmation.
Can you name the scientist?
Dr. Bruce Banner.
Oh, yeah, I've met him.
Yeah, he had to run, and then the building blew up. So something must have went down. I haven't looked into it. But yeah, here's what I'm going to say. I think that you and I may get our wish for a double dip in culture. We may get to regress to a nostalgic era like the 50s with drive-ins and stuff where things have to be switched and the old-time methods might be good. Right. But in addition, independent people are going to start getting more and more steam as the big companies why does everybody need to be so greedy that everybody needs their own streaming service? Why not just all go together on one? You'll all lose.
Trendy. It's a trend.
It's not good
it isn't.
It's not good for anybody. It's not good for consumer, and it's not good for provider because everybody's going to pick one. And that's why cable was a good thing in some ways because everybody had a channel.
Up to a point, yeah.
Right. It was a hub. Now that everybody's got their own streaming thing, it's like, who do I follow? Why should I care? And with everything getting smaller and smaller, at what point do you say, okay?
So you're saying at this, that all the more reason to be turning to independent.
Yes.
And relatively free entertainment.
When everybody is trying to come and shiv you in the shower by being like, streaming service $2.99.
That's a different horror movie.
Yeah, microtransactions. And they come out of the, that's the thing. Like, it's like Aliens, where like you're in the shower and you hear something, and somebody just steps out with like a clipboard with a bunch of streaming serves on it. And it's like, this one's $6.99 and this one's $7.99 and this one's
no.
And meanwhile, as all these huge gluttonous companies are making these streaming services, being like, hey, get our app, it's $8, you'll love it. There are people out there making shit for free.
Yep.
So it's going to be hard to keep up with free.
To a certain degree, I agree.
I mean, obviously, there's going to be
no, but I mean, not everybody's got Baby Yoda, but yeah, I hear you.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there are people on YouTube and other streaming services, Twitch, whatever, that are putting out like professional caliber content, and they don't expect anything except just participation or whatever.
Right.
And so, I think everybody coming out with something like, I think, Disney Plus and Hulu and all those companies finally rolling into one was smart, because that was also annoying.
I mean, there's an up and a down to everything.
They're all owned by the same person, so I would rather just pay one global mega giant.
See, but that's not how it's supposed to work. Yeah, but that's not how it's supposed to work either. I mean, that's
right, but it's the path of least
resistance. In terms of getting all your content from, or only having to pay once. That's one thing. Mm-hmm. Having a monopoly, that's another.
Right, but that's where we are. I'm just saying, me as your average dumb shit sitting on a couch, make it simple for me. We all want the path of least resistance.
Right now?
Say what?
You're in a chair. Are you on a couch right now? I thought you were in a chair.
I mean, in my mind.
Oh, wow.
If I forget
this has gotten existential.
If I forget how uncomfortable this chair is, it makes it slightly palatable. God, this studio. I tell you what, if this studio were like a person, it would be if this studio were a Sesame Street character, let's keep it relatable. This studio is a Sesame Street character. It's Oscar the Grouch. Like, all the shit like fulfills the purpose it needs, but it's bad and it's smelly and it's terrible and it's old, but it works.
Hey, none of us want to be here.
Yeah,
I don't know. I can't even remember how Oscar sounds, but
it's very close to that. The only thing I wish we had that he has that we don't is Slimy. I wish we had our own Slimy. We got Gay Jesus, but it's not the same.
Does he have like a Brooklyn accent? I don't remember. Oscar, not Slimy.
Yeah, I mean, Oscar, Trash Gordon. Yeah, I mean, kind of,
but
a little bit, because Sesame Street is technically in an alternate New York, so
right.
I mean, he's no Raph as far as accents go, but I mean, there's something there. You're definitely from back east.
Right.
Interesting if true.
Yeah.
Well, Scott, you know what?
Doesn't have its foul language.
Yeah, that's another thing that I never could. It's hard to reconcile with, because Oscar, he's a rude dude, but all of his mean things. I sympathize with Oscar, I guess, more than anything. Because even when he tries to be mean, it ends up being nice, and then he's more miserable.
Yeah.
He's like a proactive. He's like, okay, so what Eeyore is to sadness, Oscar is to anger. Just an endless well of it, and he can never get any relief. Just always irritated.
That's actually a good analogy. I might use that one.
Listen, I am good at a lot of things. Analogies are one of them.
Oh.
One of them being probably the only one.
Right. I was going to say, what's the other one?
I'm good at one thing. It's analogies, Scott. Let's be real. Anywho, guys, thanks for showing up to the show. If you're showing up in the future to watch it, thank you then. In the show notes, if I did my job correctly, you'll find links to all of Scott here's media outlets. There's the Warbirds of Mars. There's his personal page. It's all there in the show notes. I'm pretty sure. I'm very meticulous about links. Just ask the Awakening.
And I thank him. I thank him from the bottom of my heart.
But
in the meantime,
so check that link. Check those links, guys, because that's where you're gonna find him. He's on. I think I probably didn't link your Instagram, but give me your Instagram, because that's a fun place to see your stuff sort of roll past.
Oh yeah,
feed.
Well, all you need to do is go to my main webpage or Warbirds, and it's a friggin' hub to all my other
Here's what
social
I'm
media
learning, and it's kind of a bummer. Like, websites are dead and everything's moving to social media, because I wish
Yeah.
now that everybody's got an app, that's what we probably need, because nobody goes to websites. Like when I was a kid, I couldn't wait to go to a website.
A Fistful of Podcasts app? Is that what you're suggesting?
Yeah, because I realize it's apps are like streaming services. Everybody's got one and they all suck.
Yeah.
And they're also like assholes or mouths.
Right.
Everybody sucks with their mouth. Everybody's used a straw. Oh,
your analogy just went off the fucking rails.
Here, no, but
where did we go just now?
Listen, I did craft a new thing. So instead of swearing in front of my son now, I'm going to say excuses are like mouths. Everybody has them when they all suck. Because everybody uses a straw.
That's really long than just saying.
Listen,
Yeah.
it's either that or
comedy is about timing,
that
sir.
or the asshole thing. I've forgotten where.
By the time you even get through that, he's gonna have walked away, and you won't even need to.
I say good day, sir.
Well, I'm not going to be shouting it at him as he rides by on a skateboard. Like, how many people do you think walk away from me as I'm speaking to them? Like, how little respect do you think I command?
You do that to me all the time.
It's true, but I've got very good reasons usually. Anyway, yeah, guys. What I'm saying is I'm bummed out the websites are going the way of the dinosaur, but everybody's got one. So, I mean, come on, visit them for Christ's sake. It's kitschy. Right. Here, nostalgia. Everybody wants nostalgia. Go to a website. That's a bold statement of nostalgia. Visit our website. Visit Scott's website. Get us on get on his Instagram.
Which is Scott P. Vaughn, VAGHN.
Do you want to recommend anything as an honorary member of the staff? Like, is there a movie? Is there an independent artist that you're experiencing right now? Something you think that deserves attention that our listeners and or viewers, because this is a video and I'm still not used to that. Is there anything you want to give them?
Nothing.
How dare you?
Nothing pops to mind right now. I'm, having just recently, this year, been getting back into publishing and so on. I'm pretty much just pushing my own shit. So,
so you're in your free time. You're not partaking of anything that you want people to.
Oh, you have free time? Okay.
No,
cool.
But some people do, and I imagine it's nice.
Yeah. No, I haven't really. No, I got nothing.
Yeah. Every spare second I get is either working on the show or fighting giant monsters with my giant hammer.
Yeah.
And let's be real. It's got to happen.
Right. I'm going to wreck.
So, guys, thanks for showing up, everybody. The links are there. Kayla confirms.
That's good.
I'm bad at reading chat. That's why I have Krista. So, guys, once again, we'll see you. Let's do this. 2 days from now, Popeye's going to be on the stream. Monday, we're doing something else, and I forget who we're having. My schedule is gone. So whatever. We're here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So show up and have a good time.
Shark Boners on Monday.
Oh, Shark Boner with Tombstone trivia. Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, just show up every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We're here. If you don't want to show up, then it'll it's recorded. You can come by later. It's a place to hang out. If you're going to be home anyway, you might as well put us on in the background. Not good enough for Andy. That's it. We're not his cup of tea. I get it. It just hurts. It just hurts a lot. Anyway, Scott, thanks for coming on the show, man.
Hey, thanks for having me on the show,
It's
Dave.
been good. Thank you for letting me psychologically profile you.
I appreciate it greatly. I'm going to go kill myself.
Well, I'm going to have to put that in the book, so I don't know if I would go that drastic.
Oh, okay.
So once again, guys, thanks so much for watching, and we will see you on the next episode of whatever this is, and maybe by then I'll have also worked out an intro, because as you can tell, it's not working. Bye.
Bye.
Why can't I?
I almost hung up.